Oh, yeah. That was wonderful that WWE had Elimination Chamber at noon in Saudi Arabia. That was awesome because you know what happened, right? You know what happened, right, Ricard?
What happened?
4 points before four. That's what happened. I had 4 beautiful points. Yes. Welcome to TFS Pod, Owens The Few Show Podcast. It's 24/7 Lou, and that's
Ricard, wondering how One Man Band got so lucky to have to avoid this.
yes, and that's not here today on a special assignment
Because it's his birthday! Woo!
There we go. Happy birthday, the One Man Band. Happy birthday.
Yeah, he's gonna hear that 4 more times because we're gonna have 4 segments to do.
Oh, yeah. There you go. So, yes, welcome to TFS Pod. This show is, let me tell you something, folks. From the highest mountains to the lowest valleys and everywhere in between, we are the beast in the east, the best in the west. You're listening to TFS Pod. So,
All
yes.
right.
All right. So, in this episode, we will be doing a quick recap of WWE's Elimination Chamber, or otherwise known as
Glorified House Show. I am willing to say that without hesitation.
Even though I said it before, that's how I predicted it to be. But yeah, it was. So yes, folks, in this
I should specify Glorified House Show where title changes happen.
yeah, right. I know, right? Like not many shows. None other Glorified House Show gets that stuff, gets that treatment. But yeah, if you want to get out of the country, I guess you got to do weird stuff like that. Anyway, in this episode, wait, before we get to that, since the One Man Band's not here, I'm gonna say this. Regan! Get this over!
Oh, all right. Let's get this over with real quick. Lou, 4 points.
Yeah!
First place.
Yeah!
J Few, 1 point. Distant second place. Everyone else is at 0. That's the scoreboard. Lou, I don't want to hear you harping about 4 before 4 anymore.
Yeah! That's what we had. Yeah, it'll get worse. All right, let's talk about this show. Okay, we're gonna go quickly on this one. Actually,
yeah. Let's be honest. A lot of these matches don't need that much time.
Ray won.
Ray versus Miz. Ray Mysterio won. I don't know why they feel the need to just make Miz look like such a chump.
Right.
It's such a shame. Ray Mysterio does not need that win anymore. But whatever. Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. We'll move on from this. Next, what was the
Roman
next
Reigns, Goldberg.
Roman Reigns versus Goldberg. High intensity match. I liked that they did a. They were really playing with expectations there because you were already hitting the 2-3 minute mark, and Goldberg was pretty much. Well, he was gassed, but he had all the offense in, and Roman Reigns, aside from Superman punches, was going nowhere. And then out of nowhere, he just puts in the guillotine, and I'm just like, and then it ended, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
this is like Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it reminded me of.
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm just like, what was the point of this? Went around roughly the same amount of time, mind you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I can see. I think we were saved the horror of having to see this at WrestleMania back in 2020.
All I can say is
you would have delivered WWE. I would have. I'm glad we didn't have to see that.
All I can say is, ching, made that money, Goldberg. He made that money on that. He flew over there. His face is all over the thing. The fans who were in the stadium.
Very interesting. Very interesting. The point here, by the way, very interesting point to make here. Goldberg's last match with Saudi Arabia was him versus Bobby Lashley, where the Hurt Business came out and he took out all three of them. So, yeah, way to bury Bobby Lashley. More on that later.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Oh.
Actually, we're getting to that quickly because that was the next match.
Was it? No, the women's Elimination Chamber match was the men's Elimination Chamber was.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, it was a women's Elimination.
Let's not get weird here.
Oops. Yeah, I remember the picks were I had Bianca Belair.
And this match was your bread and butter, Lou. And the only positive to this was that I didn't have to kick myself because Alexa Bliss did not win the match, even though she came up as last elimination. There we go. Mm-hmm. It came down to Bliss and Belair.
Yeah. Which yeah, I don't know. I know you picked Liv Morgan and so did the one man band, but yeah, at one point I was like, it would be much more interesting to see if Alexa Bliss gets that match because the winner would face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. So, but
yeah, none of us would have gotten a point if that happened, or rather 2 points, which really put you over the edge.
Yeah, and the thing is with this one is that there was too much of a build up already with Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair. So yeah,
they've been kept away from each other while at the same time Belair has had, while not a direct singles rematch, she's already had enough chances. Easily.
Yep.
Easily. The more unique matchup would have been Rhea Ripley if you wanted to go with something different and you didn't want to go with Rematch Mania. Mm-hmm. Or
Rematch Mania.
Alexa Bliss. Yeah, because that's what we're getting. That's genuinely what we're getting.
Yeah,
for anybody listening right now, that's genuinely what we're getting. Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, we've seen it. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, we've seen it. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, we've seen it. Yep. Those are already 3 of your major marquee matches.
Yep.
All these matches, we've seen them on some sense or another in the last, what is it? In the last 5 years.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey, Survivor Series, 2018. Was it 2018 or 2019? 2018. 2018, yep.
Yeah, oh man.
All the matches are practically
Rematch Mania.
From about 5, Rematch Mania.
Oh man.
Rematch Mania.
I think some people who had plans for Saturday night might want to rethink about going to those plans now. It was gonna be a Rematch Mania.
I'm kidding. No. All right, quick. All right. We're having too much of an inside joke here that a lot of people could catch on to real quick. Let's not talk about that.
No, but I agree with you with the Rematch Mania. That's not a good thing.
No, it's not. 100%, it's not. You could have tweaked it a bit, WWE, but whatever. We'll let this go.
All right, next match: Ronda Rousey and Naomi versus Charlotte Flair and Sonia Deville. This match,
They dropped the Naomi versus Sonya Deville rivalry, so this was the closer to it. I didn't approve of it, but whatever. Sonya Deville became the third wheel in the Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey feud, while Naomi went on to form Team Bad because WWE finally realized, hey, wait a minute, we have women's tag titles.
Yeah,
you laugh. They weren't doing anything with them.
No, they weren't defending it anywhere. I didn't see them on NXT or anywhere else defending them. So yeah, but the other thing too is, they dropped that Naomi and Sonya Deville thing, but without even telling us.
Could have been a WrestleMania quality feud
because you work it.
You need the padding for those. You need the padding for those shows. This is WrestleMania. You don't have Battle Royals planned, to my knowledge. Mm-hmm. So everyone doesn't get a payday. So how about... And granted, you want them to earn it, fine. But they had rivalries. Why are you just dropping them midway before WrestleMania? Like, the road to WrestleMania starts at the Royal Rumble. Sonya Deville and Naomi had a rivalry dating all the way back to last year that never got proper closure. A tag match is not the proper closure.
Yeah, I remember we were predicting that that they would get a rub off of having Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey in there to help their match also. But no, they went the other way with this stuff.
Yeah, they went the other way and they just went with we'll go with the predictable route. Which again, good for you. You got the point, but jeez.
Yeah, it was only me.
Gosh,
Yeah,
talk about lack of creativity.
The Wheel and I were the ones that predicted that victory for Ronda Rousey and Naomi.
Yeah, it's never a good show when the wheel's doing better than more than half the participants.
It's not a good show. That's a whole
and close to first place. That's like it stands. If the wheel's doing good, it's not a good show. I'm just going to say that right now. Because that literally just means anybody with a dartboard could have made the match outcomes and been like, yeah, that's what I go with.
That's the real joke of the randomizer, that how random these things are. So,
yeah, and what's worse is, it's more often than not WWE shows that the randomizer gets close.
Yeah, right? I bet you there's another wheel in Stanford.
I'm not liking this.
I bet you there's another wheel, a sister wheel.
Oh my gosh, they took our idea. Or they're catching up and they're using dice still.
Yeah, come on.
All right, let's move on.
Next match, Drew McIntyre and Madcap Moss. Nasty bump on the head, Madcap.
With Happy Corbin, yes, I agree. That was actually a kind of scary moment. I was very surprised because I really thought. And you want to talk about WrestleMania feuds that are just going nowhere. I don't approve of how they're using Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
If the plan is, McIntyre versus Corbin, singles match, one and done, no. Like, geez, talk about a fall from... and nothing against Baron Corbin. It's not like I dislike his stuff. I don't know why ever since he rebranded to Happy Corbin, he's kind of been a joke.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin sounds like a better name. I don't know why he decided to change on it, but whatever.
I mean, yeah, and he played well the King Corbin role.
Yeah, King Corbin was fine. He lost the crown. Fine, go back to Baron. But all right, fine. We're just gonna go to Happy Corbin. Okay. Either way, Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss in a Falls Count Anywhere match. The match started off looking like it was just going to be a handicap match, which, by the way, should have been the route they went with from the very beginning. Why Corbin just went from, I'm actively in this match, to, all right, I'm going to go back to watching, to, I'm actively in this match, to, I'm going to go back to watching. Mm-hmm. It was just to prolong the feud, to lead to a singles match. Mm-hmm. Not necessary. McIntyre should have squashed them both, really solidified that he's back, he's a challenge, and he's capable of being in the main event of WrestleMania. Triple threat. You want to go with rematch mania? Mm-hmm. Raw, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. Main event of WrestleMania 2018, right?
Right.
Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. A match that happened at WrestleMania 2019. Drew McIntyre versus Brock Lesnar. A match that happened in 2020. You had the ability to culminate 3 total years of WrestleMania matches where coincidentally each participant has a loss and a victory over one of the other 2 participants, and you didn't capitalize on it. 100%. McIntyre has beaten Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. He hasn't beaten Reigns. Roman Reigns has beaten McIntyre at WrestleMania. Hasn't beaten Lesnar.
With him being on, he's back on SmackDown, right? McIntyre, right?
He is back on SmackDown. It all aligns. It all aligns perfectly. But no.
I was waiting for that to happen.
Even McIntyre hinted at it, but it's just gonna be a post WrestleMania match. That's what it is. It's one of those like, okay, fine. Because McIntyre said, Lesnar won the Royal Rumble match. I'll get to that. I'll deal with him later. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh gosh. This just screams after WrestleMania. I'm gonna be the filler rivalry between me and Reigns. I'm just like, that's dumb. That's really dumb. He should have been in the main event. We don't need round 3 of Reigns versus Lesnar. But whatever. We got what we got. Fine. And in case you're wondering why we got Reigns versus Lesnar and all that other stuff, you'll see. You'll see in a moment what happened.
All right. Then we had Becky versus Lita.
But first we have a. Oh, right, Becky. I completely forgot about that match. This actually,
Does Becky right
And I mean that only because it's the only match that was. It stands out as in it was a good quality match, but on a show that's bad, I'm only remembering the bad. So like when you mentioned that match, I was like, oh right, that's correct. There was a decent match on the show.
Yeah, it was a close one. There was a lot of what is it, false finishes you call them?
Yeah, a couple false finishes. I liked how the match went.
Yeah, me too.
I think it was. I'm not surprised by the outcome. I wasn't expecting Lita to win. She had a good showing. She still got it after all these years. It's the first serious singles match that she's had in almost a decade. In case you're wondering why I said serious, technically, Lita had a match against Heath Slater back in 2012 at the 1,000th episode of Raw.
Really?
So, Slater fact. Yes.
Wow, Slater fact.
Yes. 1,000th Slater fact. I know. Slater versus Lita. Look it up.
Wow.
1,000th episode of Raw, where Slater was challenging legends to rivalries.
All right, and then Becky won that one. And next match, it wasn't a match because it didn't even start. They flew all that.
It wasn't a match because it didn't start. Viking Raiders versus Usos. Viking Raiders got attacked by the Usos. No match for you at Saudi Arabia because we need more time for an Elimination Chamber match that is actually not that long. At least it didn't feel that long once all the participants got out of their pods. But you'll see what I mean.
All right, here we go. Let's talk about it now.
Here we go. And I wish One Man Band was here because. Oh boy. Okay. By the way, first criticism with the format, because they did this for the first time that I can remember, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time they did it. The original format for the entrances on the Elimination Chamber used to be first four people to come out are the ones that go into pods, right? So it really threw me off when, they did this during the women's match too, when they had the first three people go into pods, and then I believe it was it?
I forgot the order of it.
I believe it was Doudrop and Liv Morgan.
Sounds right.
All right, basically, those two came out, but they didn't go into the pod. And then Alexa Bliss had a swing in her pod, and she got the last pod.
Yeah.
And she was the last person to come out. And I was like, oh, that's different. And I thought that was a dead giveaway. I was like, oh, they did the swing because they wanted to be creative, and she came out last. I was like, I've never seen them do that in Elimination Chamber history. I think this is a sign that Alexa's going to win. Nope. It's just something they're trying out new, and I get it. It adds suspense for who's going to get the last pod. Versus, okay, we know who the four people in the pods are. Here we know who's coming out next. So it adds suspense throughout all the entrances. That's different. I don't like it, though. But that's just because I don't like unnecessary suspense. Either way, men's match happens, and Bobby Lashley comes out. Riddle came out. AJ Styles was in the pod, and Brock Lesnar got a pod. Austin Theory did not get a pod. Him and Rollins started the match.
Yeah. Oh no, he didn't.
Yep. Him and Rollins started the match. And Austin Theory took selfies with all three people in the pods except for Lesnar.
Yeah.
Lesnar with the little blow on Bobby Lashley's pod, and X marks the spot it. Which never got a payoff, by the way.
Oh. I was expecting
He's like, yeah, you're my target. Nope. Why? Because before even the first person out of a pod came out, Rollins with the did a buckle bomb, not on the turnbuckle, but onto the side of Lashley's pod. And Austin Theory crashed through the pod, went through the Lexan glass, and Bobby Lashley hit in quotation marks one of the steel beams of the pod, and apparently had to be taken out of the match because concussion precautions. So we watched the match with Bobby Lashley. The truth of it is Bobby Lashley has a injury apparently.
Yeah, shoulder injury.
Yep, shoulder injury. So he's probably going to be out of action for a bit.
But yeah.
But either way, at first we were thinking to ourselves, oh, is this, what are they doing? This is different. Ooh, what could be happening? But then Bobby Lashley, around the time where, not Riddle, but I think the time where AJ Styles comes out.
Mm-hmm.
By the time AJ Styles comes out, Bobby Lashley gets pulled out of the match, and he's outside being taken to the back. Bobby Lashley's supposed to come into the match, but he's not in the pod, so nobody comes out. And then they're like, oh, well, Brock Lesnar's going to have to wait 5 more minutes. Brock Lesnar is like, nope. Kicks through the pod glass. F5's Rollins after hitting a bunch of Germans on people. By the way, under normal rules of the Elimination Chamber match, you're not just supposed to bust out of your pod because otherwise everyone would do it. But whatever. Yeah. Fine. I mean, what's to stop people from busting through the plexiglass and just beating someone up?
Right.
Like, you get what I'm saying? But whatever. Fine. Lesnar never officially enters the match because his pod timer never goes off. Mm-hmm. He's still able to get pinfalls, though. And F5 to Rollins. 1, 2, 3. Rollins is eliminated. As soon as Rollins is eliminated, by the way, Bobby Lashley will not compete in this match anymore. He has been removed from the match because of concussion protocol. Now, I want to address somebody's criticism of this match, Jay Few. Jay Few said, why wasn't he just removed from the match to save his prestige? The answer is, the stakes of the match would have been removed if Bobby Lashley was
no champion there,
taken out of the match before. No champion in the match, no title up for grabs. That's why. Anyways, Lesnar destroys AJ Styles. He does destroy Austin Theory, but we'll get to that. He F5s AJ Styles, F5s Riddle. You're left with Brock Lesnar and Austin Theory. And by the way, Austin Theory was the randomizer's pick.
I know. I had Brock.
So the entire time, I'm just like, could you imagine?
Wait a minute. Who did you have on this one?
I had Seth Rollins. Me and OMB were thinking, oh yeah, WrestleMania 2015, Seth freaking Rollins. Why not? Nope. First person eliminated from the match. Not if you don't count Bobby Lashley. So
I don't understand. Again, I'm looking at stuff online. I knew it was going to be Brock Lesnar. I don't know how you guys went.
I didn't. We didn't think it was going to be Brock Lesnar only because, and I go off of this reasoning. Vince McMahon has never done a title unification match for WWE WrestleMania. That for the 2 major titles. He's never done it for the WWE Universal. He's done it for maybe the Intercontinental and WWF title, which was Warrior and Hogan. By the way, this is just prepping for WrestleMania trivia. Check it out next week, folks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got to put that plug in. But
who's running it?
We don't do a lot of me.
Oh no.
For the first WrestleMania trivia show, I'm going to be running it. Anyways,
you're going to be awesome.
I know it will be. Trust me. I took some notes from your format that I liked, but
Okay.
We don't do a lot of unification matches at WrestleMania. Plus, it's a 2-night event. Why wouldn't you want to have the champions, spread out around it? No, we just gotta add stakes to the men's match. Fine. But really, I thought to myself, if you're gonna do a title unification match, you could still do it with Rollins. Why wouldn't you do it? No, fine. Anyways, Austin Theory tries to run from Lesnar. He gets caught. He's getting beaten up. And then he does the move. The low blow. The trope of every Lesnar match. The low blow. I believe he hits a DDT. I may be mistaken. He goes for the pin. Lesnar kicks out after 1. Or at 1. I can't remember. Austin Theory gets scared. Lesnar looks at him. You know, he's still injured from that low blow, but whatever. Austin Theory goes to climb to the top of the chamber. As soon as he hits at the point where it starts inclining, the chamber starts inclining towards the middle. He actually fits through the chains, so he starts trying to get through the chains.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, no one's ever left the chamber match like that. So it would have been a unique moment, but they never do that spot. Lesnar catches him, drags him to the top of the pod, and F5s Austin Theory off the top of the pod. By the way, that is going to be an amazing OMG moment in the next WWE video game. I cannot wait.
Now, you know, I felt really bad for Big Al from dropping from that high.
You got to explain the inside joke, Lou. The inside joke is Austin Theory has a very, very incredibly striking resemblance to Big Al.
No, wait.
Like they look like twins.
Wait. From a man who likes taking pictures with other superstars, just like Austin Theory, they have never taken a picture together.
There is no picture, Big Al, this goes out to you. There is no picture of you and Austin Theory in the same place, standing side by side. Which means, until we get proof, we will have the theory, the Austin theory, that you are Austin Theory.
We will have a theory.
Theory that you are Austin Theory.
There you go.
A conspiracy theory, yes. But yeah, Lesnar F5 off the top of the pod to Austin Theory. 1, 2, 3. Lesnar pretends to take a selfie with Austin Theory after F5ing him.
Oh, yeah.
And boom. New WWE champion. Champion versus champion. Confirmed and in the books. And that was Elimination Chamber. Honestly, glorified house show. Those are my thoughts. Lou?
4 before 4.